All right, so it's been a minute since I've done one of these. I've done the cold tub. I've been doing cold for a long time. I've also been doing sauna for a while, not quite as long, but those are both things that are been introduced to my life that have been very, very useful. I recently came across a deal on Amazon. It's one of these little small kind of tent steam saunas. And to be honest, for my current space scenario with my house, I don't really have space to put in a legitimate sauna. So that's just not something that's going to work out right now. And I saw this thing for $100 and it seemed very much worth a go. This is one of these products on Amazon where you're going to find a dozen versions of the same thing. This thing, it was on sale for $100. It says it can get up to 150 degrees and 6 minutes. That was the really nice piece of this, the time efficiency of it all. So I decided to go ahead and give it a try. And so let's go ahead, let's open the box up, let's put it together, and let's get using it. All right, so we've got the steam sauna here. I also have my assistant, Nora, also known as my BFF. So the box here is not that big. So that's pretty cool. Part of my decision to try to buy this one or to test this one out had a lot to do with economy of space. So I'm hoping that this means what I was hoping it would, and that it really isn't going to be that big. So from here, we're going to go ahead, we're going to open it up, we're going to see what's in the box, and put it together.
You're camping?
We're making a sauna.
Sometimes I think about like
All right, so not too bad. Just under 12 minutes to put the whole thing together for the very first time. I would imagine if I had to take it back down, put it back together, I'd probably get it a good bit quicker. I got a little turned around on what direction and how I wanted to put the tarp on, mostly because I just didn't pick a plan and stick with it. So yeah, to be honest, for under or for right at $100, a little better than I expected it to be. I think I said it before, this is like one of those products that there's like 13 versions of what's essentially the exact same thing being sold on Amazon. And for my current space scenario, this is my best option for right now. So I wanted to give it a try. Again, it's a lower cost to try and to figure out if it works for me. So let's hop in and see how it feels. So one note, I will probably not be wearing my leg in here, but I still got plenty of space too. I am just under 6 foot. I would say if I was much bigger, I would probably need to do something about this chair. The chair doesn't feel like it's the most sturdy thing on earth, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna be a problem for me. I do like how the zipper here is double-sided, so you can't just pull this from the inside. Pulls all the way up. It's got a little Velcro here as well. What I've seen in the past is people putting a towel in here to completely seal it up. It's probably what my plan is gonna be as well. And then it's got these double-sided zippers here. So actually, if you wanted to, I could, in theory, do the sauna thing and read a book, write, whatever it is. I may play around with that with the morning thing. One of the things that I really was like, let's go ahead and give this a go, is that it's only 6 minutes to, it says it only takes 6 minutes to get hot, so that's really nice, and probably a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's steam and it's this nice enclosed area. So I'll be excited to see if this thing can really get up to 150 degrees in 6 minutes. That is a pretty efficient trade when you compare it to like any other, like a bigger, nicer sauna. They typically take a lot more time to get up to heat. They can also provide a lot more heat. But like I said, for my current situation, I'm just trying to figure out, is this a good fit for me? Does it really get the job done? And I'm excited to find that out. Putting it together, I am optimistic that at minimum I'm going to get my value's worth out of it. So I will use this for a handful of days, get a feel for it. So I've been using the sauna just about every single day for the last few weeks, and I wanted to get into two things. what sort of user errors are very avoidable but very likely. So if you do decide to go ahead and grab one of these, so you can have a better idea on things to look for and to be aware of, and then just overall impression after some real use versus just like my initial impression. So we're gonna start with some of the user errors that I found, and there's not very many. There's just multiple ways to make some of the same ones. All right, so like I said, there's not very many, but they're very easy to make if you're not paying attention. So almost every, I think the only errors I really made were involving everything that's on the screen right now. So primarily it's these hoses. So you'll see that there is the deal that provides the steam, connects through a hose, and then there is a hose in here that connects. It's really easy to let those get kinked and not even realize it. So like right now it's in a good spot. You see it's rounded, it's good. It's really easy. If this moves a little bit, it kinks. And so it's gonna provide two problems. Number one, it's not gonna move the steam. You're not gonna get the heat. But also because this is getting hot, you can have water boil out or over and make a little bit of a mess. So making sure that you're checking that before you go is going to save you a little bit of heartbreak. The exact same thing can happen very easily in here. So again, it's just really simply making sure that these lines are clear. So that's your primary one. After that, there's really only two other ones that I made, and I can happily / proudly say I've only made it once. You can overfill in here. Or the other piece of the puzzle is the way this thing seals. So you can overfill that. But I also had one morning where I thought that I had it closed, but I didn't. And because it never had that seal, it never built up the heat, and it didn't get going until I was sitting in there and realized it should be hot by now. So these are your primary like user errors that are going to be probably a part of your experience, but it's not the fault of the product. It's a user error. Other than that, the only two other notes I've really got is it comes with this little mat. You're gonna wanna pull that out on a frequent basis, drain it, dry it, try to put it outside. It's a steam-based sauna, so that alone creates a lot of moisture, and then you toss in the whole sweating aspect. And well, there you go. From there, the chair. So this chair is pretty small. I will say very first impression, all I could think about was replacing the chair. It's a little bit worse for me as an amputee because one of my legs doesn't come to the ground. Like if both my feet were down, it would actually be more comfortable, but one leg just hangs. That being said, I have gotten used to it. A good opportunity shows up and I will likely replace this thing, but it's not near the need that I thought it was going to be when I first got going. So these are the errors and the things to really be aware of if you get one of these and you begin to use it. Other than that, it's really simple. Make sure you zip it all the way up. It's got some Velcro and a little like enclosure right here that really seals it in. The only other thing I would really add to that is you want to get a little bit hotter. Putting a towel around your neck will absolutely add a little bit of gas to the fire. And so these are the user errors to be aware of that will make your experience a little bit better. All right, so from here, just impressions from a few weeks of use. The primary one is this was $100 very well spent. I've talked about it with the cold tub. I've got that new Recover cold tub, and it's a pretty cheap tub. And I've said that I really feel that if you are going to buy a cold tub, you should probably either buy one of the $4,000 or $5,000 self-cooled tubs, or you should probably go with a new Recover. I don't know that there's very many options in the middle that deliver on a value standpoint. Yes, you can find something better than that tub. You can find something better than this sauna that isn't a full-blown model, but I don't think it's going to deliver at the same level of value. So I think this thing blows the $100 price tag out of the water. Top time standpoint, it's very time efficient. It's when I bought it, it said it gets hot within 6 minutes, and that's not exactly the case. For anyone that's used a pressure cooker, you understand this. Like when I press the rice button on my Instapot, it says 10 minutes, but it takes longer than 10 minutes because it's got to build up the heat, build up steam and pressure, and the other mechanisms in which it works. This has to do the same thing, so it takes a few extra minutes, but it's usually 10 to 12 minutes and it's hot. Which brings me on to the second thing that's really impressed me, is it does deliver a lot more heat than I expected. It's not the same physical experience of being in an infrared sauna or something like that because your head's not in it. But in terms of just simply delivering the heat, it really gets the job done at a much higher level than the $100 price tag would suggest. And within 10 minutes of being in here, once it's hot, even though my head's not in there, I am dripping sweat from top of my head all the way down. I didn't expect that, really. Like I was going to be okay if that wasn't exactly the case. But again, like I said, this thing has really blown my expectations out of the water given the price tag. I talked about the chair, I'm sitting on it right now. It's a lot more comfortable when I've got my leg on. But it is on the smaller side. I'm 5'11", about 190 pounds right now. And if I was much bigger, I definitely would be looking a little bit harder to replace the chair. But that being said, if something comes along, it's a good value, I will probably get it. I will probably replace it. But it isn't the immediate need that I thought it was going to had I done this little video after my first couple days of using it. It's why I wanted to actually use it for a few weeks. So yeah, so that being said, it's for $100, man, I think it's really hard to beat if you're not unless you have the space and to really get after a full thing, which is really the end game and end goal for me. But for right now, this is really getting the job done. And the other thing is, it is pretty space efficient. I'm sitting here in my office, and this doesn't take up a ton of space. I had to do a little bit of reconfiguring and move my bike around a little bit. All I did was, this bike was running across the wall like this. Now it's out here like this, and it takes up less space than the Concept 2 bike that I've got in my office. So again, like I said, it really gets the job done if you need it for either the budget or the space. I don't have the space for a full-blown sauna right now either. So like I said, this really gets the job done. I've been starting it in the morning. It's easy. I put water in there, turn it on. I do my morning breath work, and then I hop in here for 15 to 20 minutes. And then I go about getting in the cold, and I go about my day the rest of the way. So yeah, like I said, overall, huge fan. If you do want to grab this, I have the link to this specific one in the description if you'd like to grab that. Again, highly recommended if you're looking for a sauna and you either need a budget, and you need to be a budget buy through either financially or a budget buy due to space. This thing will get it done. Thanks, guys. Bye.